General Hospital spoilers reveal that. Let me tell you about this latest twist that has me so excited and honestly a little worried for everyone involved. Jordan has been recovering from that awful hit-and-run accident, and as her body heals, her mind has started piecing together the tiniest fragments from that terrible night. It's not the big dramatic flashbacks you sometimes see in other shows. No, this feels real and raw, the way actual memories return in bits and pieces after trauma. One detail that keeps coming back to her is the sound of a very distinctive ringtone she heard coming from the car that struck her. It wasn't some generic chime. It was something unique, almost musical in a way that cut through the chaos and pain, something she can't shake no matter how hard she tries. I've been there myself with little sensory memories that linger long after an event, so I completely understand why this one detail won't let her rest. She's not the impulsive police commissioner she once was. Life has taught her patience, and that patience is serving her well here, even if it's creating all sorts of new complications. Then came the moment that truly took my breath away. Jordan deciding to pay a visit to the Quartermain mansion to thank Tracy personally for all the support and help she'd offered during her recovery. Tracy has always been one of those larger-than-life figures on the show, the kind of matriarch who can be prickly and protective in equal measure, and I've admired her strength even when I didn't always agree with her methods. Jordan walks into that grand old house, expecting nothing more than a polite exchange, and that's when it happens. Right there in the middle of their conversation, she hears that exact same ringtone ringing out from Brook Lynn's phone. The realization hits her like a second accident. You can almost see the wheels turning in her head, the shock mixing with a surge of determination. I sat there on my couch, clutching my coffee mug, thinking, oh, honey, what are you going to do with this now? It's the kind of perfectly timed revelation that General Hospital does so well. Subtle, yet explosive. The sort of clue that changes everything without anyone else in the room even noticing at first. What I love most about Jordan's choice here, and this is where my personal take differs a bit from how I imagine the original direction of this storyline might have gone, is that she doesn't immediately run to Curtis with the news. In the past, especially in those earlier arcs where Jordan was still very much the by-the-book cop, I would have expected her to lay everything out right away, no secrets, no hesitation. But this version of Jordan feels wiser, more measured, shaped by everything she's lost and gained over the years. She decides to investigate quietly on her own because she simply cannot bear the thought of shattering the happiness that Chase has finally found with Brook Lynn. After all the struggles those two have faced, the push and pull of their relationship, the way they've fought to build something real amid all the Port Charles chaos, who among us wouldn't pause before dropping that kind of bombshell? I asked myself the same question as I watched. Would I protect a young couple's joy at the risk of my own safety? The answer came quickly, yes, I would, because love and family are worth the gamble, and Jordan proves she still believes that with every careful step she takes now. Her silence is noble, but it's also dangerous, and that tension is what makes this so gripping. Of course, that very silence is already drawing her straight into Tracy's line of sight, and anyone who's followed the Quartermains knows that Tracy will stop at nothing to shield her family's name and legacy. Tracy has always been the ultimate guardian of the mansion and its secrets, the one who can turn from gracious hostess to formidable opponent in the blink of an eye. I've seen her orchestrate schemes that would make your head spin, always with that sharp wit and unyielding loyalty to her own. Jordan's quiet probing is putting her squarely in the crosshairs, and the way the story is building this cat-and-mouse game feels electric. It's not overt confrontation yet, nothing so blunt, but you can sense the undercurrent, the way Tracy's protective instincts are kicking into high gear. I keep wondering how far Tracy will go this time, and the answer comes almost immediately in my mind. As far as it takes. That's what makes her such a compelling character. She's never one-dimensional, never purely villainous. She's a mother and grandmother first, and that drive to protect is something I relate to on a very personal level after raising my own family through decades of challenges. What's raising the stakes even higher, and this is the part that has me buzzing with anticipation, is how Jordan is quietly uncovering new layers of trouble that Brook Lynn has gotten herself tangled up in lately. It's not just the accident anymore. There are fresh missteps, new secrets that point to something darker and more calculated. Brook Lynn has always been a fiery, passionate young woman, full of talent and ambition, but these recent choices she's made seem to be pulling her deeper into murky waters. Jordan's investigation is shining a light on those details, piece by careful piece, and it's clear that everything is spiraling toward a reckoning. I've seen storylines like this before on the show. Remember some of the old cover-ups and corporate intrigues that threatened to topple entire families? But this one feels different because of the personal stakes. Chase's happiness hangs in the balance. Curtis's trust is at risk without him even knowing it yet, and Jordan is carrying this burden alone for the moment. It proves to me, in a way, the original outline of this arc perhaps never quite captured, that the writers are letting these characters breathe and grow instead of rushing straight to the courtroom or the police station. Jordan's measured approach isn't weakness, it's strength born of experience, and I'm convinced it will lead her exactly where she needs to be. The real thrill, the heat that keeps me coming back day after day, is realizing that Tracy and Brook Lynn's darker plans, the ones they've been weaving together in the shadows of that grand mansion, are heading for a swift and decisive unraveling. You can feel it building, like storm clouds gathering over Port Charles. Every secret Jordan pieces together brings the whole scheme closer to exposure, and I believe it's going to happen faster than anyone expects. Will Jordan's solo investigation put her in real danger? Of course it will. That's the nature of these stories, but she's handled worse, and her quiet determination tells me she'll come through stronger. Will Chase's world come crashing down when the truth finally surfaces? Perhaps, but I have faith that the writers will handle it with the heart and nuance they've shown so far, letting love and forgiveness find a path even through the wreckage. And Tracy? She may be formidable, but even she can't outrun the consequences forever when the evidence keeps mounting. This isn't some slow burn filler arc. It's the kind of high-stakes drama that reminds me why I fell in love with General Hospital all those years ago. I've compared this to earlier Quartermain scandals in my mind, and what stands out is how much more intimate and emotionally layered it feels now. In the old days, the schemes were often about money or power on a grand scale, but here it's personal, about protecting a young marriage, about a mother's fierce love clashing with justice, about a survivor reclaiming her voice one memory at a time. It's proof that the show still knows how to evolve while honoring what made it great. My days revolve around that afternoon hour when the familiar theme music plays. And right now I'm counting the minutes until the next episode, because every clue Jordan uncovers feels like it's pulling me deeper into the story alongside her. The tension is delicious, the possibilities endless, and the payoff is going to be worth every sleepless night I might spend wondering what happens next. There's something comforting, too, in knowing that even as these characters face their darkest moments, the show always finds a way to remind us of hope and resilience. Jordan isn't alone forever. The truth has a way of coming out in Port Charles, often at the most dramatic and satisfying times. Tracy's plans may seem ironclad in the moment, but I've watched enough seasons to know that hubris has brought down stronger forces than this. Brook Lynn's new troubles only add fuel to the fire, showing us that no one is above accountability, no matter how talented or beloved they are. I find myself cheering for Jordan's courage, admiring Tracy's loyalty even as I worry about its cost, and rooting for Brook Lynn and Chase to find their way through whatever storm is coming. That's the magic of this program. It pulls you in, makes you invest, and leaves you breathless with anticipation. As I sit here reflecting on it all, I realize this storyline isn't just entertaining. It's a masterclass in what keeps General Hospital alive after all these decades. It's the quiet decisions that carry the loudest consequences, the personal loyalties that clash with larger truths, the way one ringtone can unravel years of careful planning. The heat is on, my friends, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be along for the ride. Every afternoon brings another layer, another revelation, another reason to believe that the best is yet to come. Jordan's investigation is going to expose the cracks in Tracy and Brook Lynn's world sooner than they realize, and when it does, the fallout will be nothing short of spectacular. I can already picture the confrontations, the tears, the moments of hard-won understanding that will follow. That's why I'll keep watching, keep caring, keep believing in these characters who feel as real to me as my own neighbors. General Hospital still has that special spark, and this current chapter is burning brighter than ever. I wouldn't miss a single minute of it for the world.